Pa-ra-pa-ra-pa-pa, pa-ra-pa-pa-pa. Hey guys, this is the Cow Corner, your cricket podcast, and I'm back. I was away last time,
Yeah,
and I heard Jatan and Siddharth having a conversation. I was jealous. Like, I gotta be back.
bro, we missed you. You and your parapapas.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm here with Jatan. I'm your host Prashant, and we also have our producer lurking around. Um, yeah. So actually, last time we talked a bit about few things about IPL and England, New Zealand, and you and Siddharth went a little bit into the whole Ben Stokes and the empathizing and all that.
No
So
empathy from me. No empathy from me.
exactly, no soup for you, as they say.
Yeah.
So I guess, Jadan, today we are going to maybe talk a little bit about the England-New Zealand series and then the firecracker T20 Women's World Cup that's going on. And then also look at a little bit with India-Afghanistan. One test, which is lame. Actually, how can you have a one test series? That's like
Yeah.
ridiculous. But still, one test and three ODIs. So I guess we can get right into it. So first one is England New Zealand series. Okay, so my take is this, right? It's 1-1 right now. Okay, and then everybody's like, we miss Ben Stokes and he's going to be back, and so is Atkinson because it was nothing really came out of it. There was some like written, I don't know, warning given to them, hey, don't do this again. Yeah, else.
Yeah.
And Ben Stokes is back. It's a three-test series. That's
Mm.
ridiculous. I was like, oh, now it's 1-1. It's going to be best of three. And then I said, Prashant, this is not Ashes. Like, this is England, New Zealand. Is it true? It's a three-test series? And the next
Oh
one is
yeah.
that, yeah, come on, what's up
Yeah.
with that? I
No, but that's
mean,
usually what's the deal is like apart from England, India, and Australia, they don't play more than three tests anymore. We should be happy that it's a three-test series and not a two-test series because
yeah,
India and
that's
South
even
Africa play
worse.
two-test series. So
That's even worse. One test
we at least
series,
got
two
three.
test series, three test series, four test series, five test series. By the way, so going back, I think there used to be six test series, I think, at some point.
Yeah, it has happened once. I think one of the ashes that happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
I I do
So
remember.
I guess
Not too long
even
ago.
things out. Um, but yeah, I mean, right now it's 1-1, third test is coming up. And I guess, if you just do a quick winner loser thing, I think the winner obviously has been um, New Zealand so far, and also a couple of Henrys, right? The first
Yeah.
name, last name Henrys, Matt Henry and Henry Nichols. So I think I would say those are my winners, and definitely New Zealand to fight back from Lords. I think it's a pretty good firecracker for third test that's going to get set up, I think.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I mean, it's it's pretty funny, right? Like the way the first. So too many things happening in such a short time for in this series, right? The first test
Hmm.
was just basically a penalty shootout, right? Whoever gets more lucky. The Lord's Test match getting over in 2 days. I still don't know whether they called the pitch poor or not because if it was Indore or if it was Kanpur or if it was Delhi, where two days game was done, it was a poor wicket, right? Even though at that point the pitch would not be dangerous for the batsman. Lord's pitch was kind of dangerous for the batsman. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I still don't know whether it was deemed poor. But yeah, so first test was a farce. Uh, Anybody could have won. Second test, and between that, obviously, we all know what happened. Uh, Now that they have given, as you said, written warnings, like that's what we used to get in our diaries when we were in school. So now we have reached that point that we are going to get written complaints or warnings, and obviously curfews that
Go to
happen
the
which nobody
principal's
follows.
office. Go to the
Yeah,
principal's office.
and then curfews, right? Can't use the phone after 9 p.m. Can't go to the pub after 12 a.m. Nobody follows that either. What a farce! They've become the ECB, especially. I would blame the ECB here. They've become the laughing stock of the entire cricketing world for me. I mean,
I think
nothing
they got
seems
scared, right,
serious
Jatan?
anymore.
it's almost they got scared when they were warning Ben Stokes, and when they felt that he might actually retire, there was a bit of a
Yeah,
panic
yeah,
saying, "All
yeah.
right, let's give
If
him
they
a
had,
way out."
yeah, it's almost like Stokes calling the shots, right? He's like
They're
almost
calling he
threatening
calling
that
their
if
bluff actually. He called their
yeah,
bluff, I think.
call their
So
bluff. So if you ban me, I'm just going to retire. So
yeah, so
and
don't
as you can see, they don't have another captain, right? They had to go back to Root,
Joe
which
Root.
was another farce or stupidity because Root, we all know how Root ended his captaincy, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He was terrible as a captain. I mean, he was okay as a captain, but he's talked a lot about it, right? That how it was like a burden on his shoulders, and he didn't
yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
it and all of that. And you just give him back the
Why
captaincy.
not
You don't
Harry
have
Brook?
anybody else.
Why not Harry
Exactly.
Brook?
Yeah. No, because probably he had another fight in one of the other.
All right, that's true. So I guess Joe Root is a good guy.
He's a good guy. He won't go and fight it out, right? That's what we think. So, and then the test match, right? Handing out caps through to three different newcomers who were
Yeah.
absolutely half baked.
And
Nobody
and still
provided.
keeping Ben Duckett. Ben Duckett is still there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to
England
get
has some
started.
really
Seriously.
England has some really terrible bench strength, frankly, as we can see,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
If
yeah,
Smith's not playing, Rue is keeping dropping catches behind the stumps. They dropped a total
yeah.
of 8 catches. Rue dropping, I think, three. Uh, total
Yeah.
shambles, right? As maybe Jeffrey Boycott would say. Yeah, even my mama would have played better, right? Whatever. So
Mm.
it's like terrible performance. With Stokes coming back, maybe the third test might be more competitive, but test two was absolutely about New Zealand. Yeah. So and even after Williamson's retirement, right? New Zealand could have felt low, right? Their best batsman and their leader, in a certain sense, retiring. But I don't think these things bother them, right? I mean, yeah, Williamson has retired. Well played, and then let's move on.
They move
So
on. I mean, Rachin had a good knock. I mean, it's
yeah,
another player to we root for who I think he goes and succeeds. Couple of really good knocks, especially in the second test. Daryl Mitchell, Henry Nichols, and obviously 11 wicket haul by Matt Henry. So, I mean, speaking about Joe Root, he did cross a big milestone, 14,000 runs in Test.
yeah.
He's definitely, chasing Sachin's record of number of runs in Test. He has, I think it's Siddharth and we were talking the other day. He only has to play another 25 tests, and
Yeah.
then with the average of 50 plus, he'll get there. But 25 test matches. Either way, I think still a big landmark for Joe Root to get through. So I would definitely say one of the winners is also Joe Root. And talking about losers. Here, just as you mentioned, I give you that the ECB, the whole process, I think is a loser. I still feel the whole baseball approach because at some point, one of my actually friends called me and he said, "Oh, there is a counter attack um by Joe Root and Harry Brook," and I'm like, they have to make close to 500 runs, right? If it is 300, 350, I can understand 500-ish run. I'm not sure if counter attack can get you there. It'll get some
It
entertainment.
might get you once out of 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
if
the right
that,
recipe for
if
sure.
that, exactly, exactly. Unless you back that up with your entire team and your tactics and everything, then you're threatening, right? Otherwise, you just like messing around. So I think loser
Yeah,
wise, I think overall their process still is, including ECB and the whole
yeah,
warning business is an absolute loser. And I understand we don't have five test series other than Ashes and maybe India, Australia. But I was really hoping this would have been fun if this was a five test
yeah,
series, especially one
yeah, yeah,
all and but third test should be fun, right?
yep, yep. Looking
Um,
forward to that.
Decider.
We can move on to the World Cup, Women's World Cup, Women's T20 World
Yeah.
Cup, right?
Yeah,
I always feel that we never really talk a lot about women's cricket, which I myself feel that that's not right. But
we're
anyway, let's
fixing
get
it.
into that, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're fixing that.
We're fixing it, yeah. So, well, the World Cup's happening in England, right? And It's already almost halfway through the T20 World Cup. Obviously, as usual, England, Australia are the favorites, but India is
Yeah.
never too far behind. With South Africa also, fact that they made it to the World Cup finals of the 50 over
Yeah.
World Cup recently, right? Which India won. So yeah, basically, and New Zealand, obviously the defending champions, right? They're always a threat with their great players. So we are almost at the halfway, a little more than halfway. With all players, all teams have played three matches each, and the pattern emerging is pretty interesting actually.
Yeah.
So Group One, you have Australia, India, South Africa, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Netherlands. And
Yeah.
Group Two, you have England, West Indies, New Zealand, Scotland, Sri Lanka, and Ireland. So obviously, as favorites, right? And the format is that each team plays each other, and then the semi-finals. So there's no Super Eight or Super Six. Thing, which I think is the right format. I think you play with each other, and then the top two qualify for the semifinals. So, but
Simple
the
as that.
interesting part is, yeah, the interesting thing is that kind of makes it every game very important, right? You really
Yeah.
can't lose anything. So currently, and it's actually so Group One, Australia and India would be favorites with South Africa close behind, and Group Two, England and New Zealand would be the favorites as such. But in both groups,
Yeah.
we might be seeing upsets, right? So obviously
Correct.
Australia has 3 out of 3. I think they are untouchable, and England also are 3 out of 3. And the wins that they had were pretty comprehensive.
Mm.
No scares or anything. But Group One, yesterday we had a game. South Africa, India, right? Which would have
Yeah.
kind of been a quarterfinal of sorts because you expect South Africa and India to win against Bangladesh, Pakistan, and others, though there could be surprises. But India lost. I mean, South Africa won against India,
Tight,
and again, it
tight
was a
match,
pretty
right? It was a
yeah
tight match.
tight match. But at the end, Woolward just just
Mm.
destroyed the Indian attack. Again, probably not sure if bowling Deepthi in the 19th over was a good idea. But anyway, hindsight's always 2020, right? So
Hindsight is
yeah,
always
so
2020
yeah,
in
so they
T20.
T- that's a good one. Yeah, so they won, and that kind of makes them the favorites to qualify above India. So
Yeah.
the reason is that South Africa has already played Australia, so, and they lost against Australia. But the next two games that South Africa has is pretty relatively easy. I think they played Bangladesh and Netherlands.
Netherlands.
While
Yeah.
India in the Netherlands, while India has to contend with obviously Australia and Bangladesh. So assuming both win against Bangladesh, India will have to win against Australia to have a chance to make it to the semifinals. I think if they win, their run rate is pretty good. So right now,
Definitely.
India and South Africa are both at 4 points each, right after 3 games. But yeah, India will have to win both.
So India Australia match is week from now. I think it's on the 28th of June, I think. So maybe
I'm
that's
not
the
sure, man.
last match India is playing. Yeah, yeah. So I think,
Okay.
if we stay with our recording schedule, by the time we record our next episode, we would have known. I mean, and it's good India is playing Australia last because that's the kind of the decider. I would definitely make a point to watch that. And you never know, right? Indian T20 team is women's team is pretty good, and you never know,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. It's going to be a uphill battle, but of course, there's always a chance. It's
Yeah.
just the favorites wise, right? So yeah, so let's see how that goes. At least it's kind of a minor upset. South Africa beating India. I wouldn't even call it an upset. I mean, South Africa has been doing well recently, and they're just getting better as we go along, right? So
Yeah.
they definitely deserve that win. While going to the second group, it's even more interesting, right? New Zealand has lost 2 games out of 3. One to Sri Lanka, which was a total upset, right? And they lost to West Indies also, with West Indies winning 3 out of 3 as of now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are West Indies and England are 6 points each, with New Zealand, Scotland, and Sri Lanka at 2. So barring another big upset, yeah, I think New Zealand's chances are pretty low. To qualify. So that's another surprise. So we might have actually England, West Indies from Group Two. Yeah.
Nice. And another thing with T20 actually is Harmanpreet Kaur, the first person actually to have 200 T20 eyes. And then, one thing I read is, the typical Star Trek thing is go where no man has ever gone before. So,
Yeah.
Harmanpreet Kaur, a woman going where no man has ever gone before, playing, or maybe she
Nice.
just played, or next match would be the 200th
Oh wow.
international T20 match for her. And
Who's the
hmm?
next in line?
I don't
Who's the
know
next
actually.
in line?
That's a good question. And I think there are, and I was just looking at a number of records that were set by women players. First
Yeah.
one for 50, 100, 150, and even 200. So I think a great leader, great player. So who knows? This might be the India-Australia match. Um, she might celebrate the 200 plus T20 eyes with some really strong performance. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to make a mention of Harmanpreet Kaur.
Yep. Yep. The next closest is Susie Bates from New Zealand at 184. She might actually. She's playing this
Yeah,
World Cup, I believe. So
yeah.
yeah. In men's, the highest is Paul Sterling from Ireland, 163 games, and close second is Rohit Sharma, 159. Though Rohit Sharma would not be playing anymore, is not playing anymore. But yeah. So
Hitman.
200
Hitman.
is the
Huge.
hitman. 200 is a
Yeah.
pretty big achievement. So good
Mentioning
for
of
her.
Rohit Sharma, I mean, maybe we can talk about what's happening, around Indian team. And I know there's a lot of selection and challenges and interesting thing. And I agree with you, Jatan. And one thing I want to tell you, just to make sure it's clear for you, because I think you and I, we are living in a la la land, that in India no one cares about Test cricket
Yep,
other than you and I. No one
yep,
cares because we know all the selection and you know based on IPL, let's
yeah.
say, why? I had a random thought, by the way, on that. If I can go off a tangent a little bit.
Absolutely.
Why?
Yeah. I would
Because
like to hear your
maybe,
thoughts because
right,
I'm really
maybe
worked up.
I got you.
Can't get over it.
I understand. One ridiculous rationale could be, hey, in IPL, you get to play or you have to play against other international players. And in Ranji, you're just playing, domestic players,
Hmm.
quote unquote.
Domestic players who take 60 wickets in a season, sure.
Exactly. And of course, completely ignoring the fact that it's a different format, different pitch, different rules, different blah, blah. But I wouldn't be surprised if they said, oh, you're doing this against other international players.
Right.
That is a crazy thought I had. And I'm like, is that what they're thinking? That because you perform in IPL, that means you can like hang and play against those international players?
Prashant, I
Maybe.
think you're still trying to be rational. Come on. What are you doing? We are
Anyway,
better than that.
so correct,
They're
correct.
totally irrational now. Yeah. So,
I,
and
I
actually,
agree.
you said we care about the test. Nobody else cares about test cricket. I guess. And one thing that I
No one.
always and me and Siddharth were talking last time is whatever flaws Virat Kohli may have, he really cared about Test cricket and he really built the
100%.
team that we had, right? So the team that we had, the team that won down under twice, the team that drew with England, even after Kohli, right, the team that drew in England, that was the beginning of the end, I guess. We still were able to
Yeah,
draw because of the strength that we already had. But at that point, also, the selection had started getting screwed up, right, with Sai coming in, Reddy coming in, and then Kamboj coming in, right? So, yeah, I think now we are at a point where we have an India Australia test series next year or yeah, early next year, and we are
we'll
not winning
see.
that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
come on. If this is
yeah.
what's going to happen, continue to happen, and I don't hear any cries against it. I don't hear anybody raising their voice against it except uh, people who people
Venksatkar.
don't listen to Vengsarkar and Siddesh Lad, who's an active player. Yeah, I think he's given
Yeah,
up
yeah,
on his dream of playing with
yeah.
India, and he's free to speak. But yeah, nobody else is even talking about it, and I
I'll
guess
tell you, you
maybe
know what?
I'm
I'll tell
just
you one thing.
delusional.
If
Yeah.
if India doesn't do well in the limited over format after, say, a test series loss, and if they also don't do well, they continue not to do well. Because remember, when we were talking about the test series, the World Cup was coming up. And we had said if India does well in the World Cup, which they did, won the World Cup, everyone is going to forget about what happened against
Forget
South
about it.
Africa.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happened. If you continue to do well, and the T20 World Cups are every 2 years, for better or for worse, and India has like terrifyingly good T20 team.
Yeah.
If you continue to do well, nobody would in India would care about what happens with tests. So,
Exactly, and that's
you
what is
know,
happening.
seriously, I
Yeah,
mean,
it'll be
I
hard for them to screw up the T20 team because whoever you pick might be good enough, right?
correct,
Because
exactly.
of the IPL. Again, yes, because of the IPL. But then if you're picking the test team on the IPL performance, then because of the IPL, you're screwing up your test cricket. So it's funny
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
how this is
I'm
going
not,
on.
I'm totally with you. So, I was, yeah, you know, completely again, random thought. Rishabh Pant coming back when the Afghanistan's test was starting, right? First test. Pant coming back as a test player has, when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, he is, I think, India's best test wicket keeper. I think he's going to go down as the best wicket keeper batter for India ever. I mean, his game is for tests, right?
Yeah.
Sehwag, his game was for test matches. And we have talked about this before. Pant, I think when he plays limited overs, I don't know, maybe his head gets confused saying, "Oh, I got to do something even more ridiculous than what I do there," and it doesn't succeed. And I just read somewhere he's getting traded to DC again, right? He's
Yeah.
not a captain of LSG anymore, and he's so again, hearing Pant coming back as a test player is refreshing. I'm like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's
That's one of the
India's best
few bright
test
spots.
batter.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And maybe so let's just look at the India Afghanistan ODI series, right? I was thinking the other day, I was like, what is that buying for India? Like, why are we playing? Then I'm like, come on. When we had a conversation about the associate teams, and I know Afghanistan is full status, not
Yeah.
associate.
Yeah. Absolutely. No. No. Yeah. It is
Correct,
full status.
correct. But still is good for them to play a three-test ODI series or even a one-test match series with India
It's
because
definitely
that's
better
going to help
than
them
nothing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
100%. So I was like,
And
come on.
that is what, especially for test cricket, right? That is what the captain and other important players were also saying after the test match, right? They just don't get enough opportunities
Yeah,
to play test matches, so they are not going to be able to leave a mark against a team like
yeah.
India in India, right? And India is not going to visit Afghanistan to play test matches, not in the near future. So, yeah, I
Yeah, and
mean,
they don't
the
even play
way
at home, right? They
they
play
don't play
in
at home, yeah, the
yeah, yeah,
Middle East, yeah.
UAE and other
So,
places, which
yeah,
is
so
again, yeah,
yeah, so it's too one-sided, but at least they get the experience. But I think such less experience, such scattered experience across years, right? I'm not even
yeah,
sure if, like, when I was watching the India Afghanistan test match, the statistics that they were showing when a batsman walked in for Afghanistan um, was their first class statistics. They don't even have enough statistics
yeah,
probably for international, right? So when the
yeah.
batsman walks in, you see what the statistics are. They're showing first class statistics, which is sad, right? Um, so yeah, I'm happy that there was a one. It was at least there was a one match series. I wish they play more test matches. I think they definitely have the potential, and yeah, let's see. So yeah,
Yeah, three tests. I mean, ODI was a sweep and pretty much one-sided, for sure. But I saw Rohit bat the other day, and again, always again the one of the best um visuals, one of the best players to still watch is Rohit Sharma. I mean, I seriously I feel Sachin was one of them, and so is Rohit. Actually, completely different player, but Ajinkya Rahane is one of them. And there are, of course, we talked about um, Markram. Again, there are players who play aggressively, but just beautiful players to watch the way they bat. So seeing Rohit back in form is or playing, watching him bat is good. And I guess both him and Virat are still in the hunt for the
Yeah.
2027 World Cup slot in India's squad. Yeah, I guess.
Yep, yep. I think they actually might play that. So that's the plan as of now, and I believe they're doing good enough, right? As in, it's good for a 50 over game, right? It might be good to have that experience. Though we were very upset with what happened in the 23 World Cup final, but uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think um, they're being not groomed, but they are part of the team for that one final flourish, and I think they're doing good enough to like Kohli's in very good form when it comes to one
We'll see
days.
how it goes in
Um,
England, right? India is going to England in July
yeah,
for an
India,
ODI.
England, Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Should be actually exciting series. And I know I was listening to you folks talking about whether Suryavanshi will get to bat. I mean, if
Mm.
you really don't play Sanju Samson, which would be a mistake, if you don't play Sanju, we'll have like what, four lefties at the top? Right, Abhishek and
Yeah,
then
he may not
Suryavanshi.
get his chance. Yeah, but he's going to be in the team. Looks like so. I mean, maybe he'll get a chance if we have wrapped up the series and there's a inconsequential match happening. Maybe.
I was going to say maybe you do that to sell tickets, but I'm sure those matches are sell out in England anyways, right?
Yeah,
With
you don't get the
India,
tickets anyway.
England playing. Yeah, exactly. So you don't need, some another attraction to overfill the
Mm.
the stadium. So actually looking forward to that series, and of course, right now, one big news also out of cricket is the FIFA World Cup, which I'm sure a lot of our listeners are following. So really, soccer World Cup, as we call it in America. So, lot of action in sports right now.
Yep, yep,
Um,
yep.
cool. What else?
I don't know. Have you followed the A series, the India,
Yeah, Sri Lanka.
Afghanistan, and Sri Lanka A series? Yeah,
I have a little
that
bit
is in
actually.
the news. That is in the news for the wrong reasons. So
What is the reason?
yeah, so one of the games, so it was a straightforward series. I think all three teams playing each other a few times, and then the final, which happened yesterday, and which it was between India and Sri Lanka, and which India won. Again, Suryavanshi made 94 in
Yeah,
29 balls.
29 balls. That's
He's
ridiculous.
gotten that
Yeah.
he's gotten that thing of getting out in the 90s, but I will take that. But more concerning was the last match before this, one of the matches before the final, right? India and Sri Lanka, which was being played, and it went to the super over, right? So
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
know that 50 over games have super overs, but I think they had it for the series. And in the super over, Sri Lanka won against India, and I think India had to make 14 runs in that over, and they couldn't, right? I
Yeah.
guess Suryavanshi was obviously at the crease and he couldn't make it. And while walking off, I'm sure something was said from the Sri Lankan side. And being the kid he is, right? I guess that's where this age shows.
Yeah.
He kind of went back to the guy who was speaking and kind of
Oh
almost
no.
he actually pushed him. Yeah, there was a physical thing.
Oh wow.
So yeah, you do that in your gully cricket, right? But I don't know if you have to do that. You can do that in. So he has to be careful about that, frankly. We talk about Ben Stokes and how you should keep restraint, but any international sports person, right? There will be
Yeah.
people who will always keep telling you this and that, right? Trying to, rile you up, and
I mean
and
that
that's what
that's
you
a
don't want
that's
to
a
do.
big that's a big I mean again obvious because of the age for sure the vulnerability is there but
Yeah,
people will the players will try to get under your skin.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess
They will
that's
not see your age, right? Yeah.
of
So
course not
that's the other reason I don't want him to be part of this setup this early.
right now. Mm.
A teams are A tours are maybe okay, and sure they are international, but they are probably not
Yeah,
the actual international games.
but
But
still but still
yeah,
an incident happened, right? Because when you're on the
yeah,
field,
it incident happened.
people don't think
And
about that.
with Suryavanshi playing, it's going to be telecast live everywhere. any
For
any game he
sure.
plays now. So Yeah, he's going to be careful. Yeah, he's just 15. That's the other thing, right? How much can you tell a 15-year-old, right, to listen to? So
Mm,
it's going to be hard for him.
mm,
And people
interesting.
now, if they see this happening, they're going to do that more and more, right? Because they know there is a
Exactly.
vulnerability there. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like anything, any weakness
Any
in your
weakness.
armor. So
Yeah. Maybe he'll learn from it.
awesome. Before we wrap up our chat, I was just checking about Major League Cricket. Right, there's a lot of, especially in US, Major League Baseball, football, NFL, NBA, all that, right? Major League Cricket has been going on for a while, and all the Super Kings and the MIs and Knight Riders, those teams are there. At some point, I was thinking about being able to go and watch those matches, but they don't like the New York Mumbai Indians, as they call them. They don't play in New York, actually. A lot of matches happen in Texas and in other places. So right now there's a match going on between the not the Chennai Super Kings, but the Texas Super Kings and the New York Mumbai Indians. Nicholas Puran is their captain there, as in the Mumbai Indians from New York. Yeah, so a number of players actually play in MLC and also many domestic US domestic players. So maybe at some point
Yep.
we should just keep track of what's happening in MLC and
Yep.
especially the US players, right? How well they're doing
Absolutely.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I was actually not aware that it started. I just saw that. Yeah, it's a big deal. MLC, which is it, the third or the fourth season,
yeah, yeah,
where yeah, it's sustaining, it's growing. So something to obviously keep an eye on and follow. Monank
yeah,
Patel is part of MI New York, which he was the captain of US team at some point. So
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
interesting too.
We can keep track. So two things. The third test is coming up in Trent on the 25th, and India Australia T20 World Cup, Women's World Cup match. So a couple of big things
Yep.
to look for next week. When we meet again, I'm sure we would have some interesting updates on that. Yeah. So if nothing else, Jatan, maybe we can wrap.
Yep. Looking forward to
Awesome.
the
Likewise.
this week.
I was happy to be back. I missed the last chat. I know Siddharth is Siddharth is enjoying Father's Day on my behalf. That's why he's not here. So happy Father's Day.
Yeah, you too.
By the time people listen to this, it might be belated, but happy Father's Day. It's a wrap. This is the Cow Corners. Prashant and Jatan. Ciao. Peace out.
Signing off. Thank you for listening. Bye.
This episode was produced by Mukta Phatak, music by Joe Reynolds.